Hi, I'm Seth, and I'm here to talk to you about AWS Code Deploy. With the last service, Raphael was talking with you about how you are able to use AWS CloudFormation to help you create and manage your infrastructure. With Code Deploy, we will be discussing how it can help in deploying your code and updates out to your running fleet of instances. With Code Deploy, you're able to reliably deploy your application packages to your running EC2 instances while maintaining control over uptime, deployment strategies, and how your deployment reacts to successes and failures. The way that Code Deploy works helps you to easily create repeatable deployments to push your code out to your instances, whether on-premise or in AWS. You are also able to maintain control while making your job much easier by using the tools and features provided by Code Deploy, giving you control over how you deploy, verifying successful deployments, or rolling back to previous versions. Additionally, use of Code Deploy is not dependent on the specific languages or platforms you may be using for your development, or the other tools you are utilizing. With Code Deploy, you're able to tell it specifically what to do with any of the updates you are pushing out to your fleet. As far as parts of Code Deploy, there are a few main ones that you will need to be aware of. These are the fleet, the revision, the app spec file, and the Code Deploy agent. The fleet in Code Deploy is how you group your instances together for deployment. Grouping your instances allows you to have control over what you deploy to and how widespread or not the deployment is. There are many ways to identify your groups of instances, and when identified, you are able to push out your updates or revisions as you need. Revisions are, as hinted to just now, the updates you are pushing out to your instances. In Code Deploy, revisions are organizational structures that help you with packaging the updates you're pushing out to your instances. The revisions utilize configurational outlines, like the app spec file, to execute your deployments to your instances. Continuing on, the application specification file, or app spec file, is a YAML or JSON formatted file that outlines what needs to be done with your deployment. It is used by Code Deploy to manage your deployment. It can outline files that need to be retrieved, parameters that need to be set, and commands or scripts that need to be run by the Code Deploy agent in your instance. The app spec file is where you gain a lot of the functionality and control with your deployments. Lastly, the Code Deploy agent is the server-side partner of the overall Code Deploy system. When using Code Deploy, your request to create a revision, trigger a revision deployment, and set deployment groups are processed by the AWS side of Code Deploy. But the work of running the commands, pulling down any files requested, and verifying the deployment success is done by the Code Deploy agent installed on your instances. So that about does it for our high-level introduction to AWS Code Deploy. In the next few sections, we will get into more depth about the parts of Code Deploy introduced here, how it works, and even go into a short demonstration using Code Deploy. I'll see you soon.